Alrighty, folks. Buffalo Sabres, with probably their most embarrassing loss over the course of, do I always say this 13-year playoff drought? Like, Maniac, you were there tonight. This whole thing is a complete fiasco. Buffalo Sabres go 4-0. Like, what is going on right now?
I mean, it was awesome, Gatesy. It was, in the beginning of A Tale of Two Cities, they do say it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. When the Sabres, started practicing differently this past week after getting shut out a couple times, and they come out in this game and they literally look like their skulls are on fire. With all due respect to Nicolas Cage in Ghost Rider, like you're like, you know what? Maybe like this could be the start of something good. Don't you
Well, Troy
agree?
Bolton, I'm hoping for something like that.
I mean, and you knew, like, yeah, 4-1. It's like that's not great, but you've played 40 minutes and it's 4-1. That Gatesy, that third period could be considered a war crime in some regions. There are some regions where they wouldn't let you out the building if you play like that in the final frame. And by the way, speaking of not let out the building, I'm like literally the fucking last one here. I can't believe it. I literally cannot comprehend what the fuck just happened, Gates. You sent out the message, and it only dawned on me when you sent it out. Like, this team has done more losing than anybody the last decade. Anybody.
Yes.
They are loser this, loser that, loser here, loser there. And to be able to just say that, yeah, that was the most embarrassing loss of them all, like, and pretty much be like honest and truthful about it, it's definitely top three. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there can be some others, like maybe like, I think they could like let up like 10 goals last year. And there was some other previous stuff. But to be able to say something like that, I mean, this team doesn't have a fucking pulse.
No.
When they called that timeout at 4-3, they look so nervous. They had the whites in their eyes were sticking out so much. Gatesy, I can't even tell you, Gatesy. There was an Avalanche fan, a father and a son behind me. And when they scored to make it 4-2, I can't even describe the level of confidence that was going on in there. Right, they were Logan O'Connor, this Cale McCarr. Oh, look how hard they're working. Oh, the Sabre, and they're saying shit that I've lived through for the last decade. They're saying, well, why are the Sabres playing defense right now at 4-2? Shouldn't they be aggressive? Yeah, they should be aggressive. They should be able to put the pedal on the metal.
Yeah.
I agree. Mike is chiming in on Twitter here. This loss could happen, and that's almost more worrisome to me than anything.
Yes.
Because there have
100%.
been, like, this was supposed to be a slate wipe clean, new crew, and I know they've said this 8 times over the last 12 years, so it's pretty disingenuous at this point. But my God, like, when does the suffering end for Sabres fans? I mean, this team wants them to be so good. Gatesy, this building was 80 to 85% full on a Tuesday. Freezing on a short week.
Crazy.
Like there's no, I mean,
yeah, the difference is between this loss and previous shitty losses we've seen over, I hate saying 13 years, but it's true, Maniac. Like, the expectations were there this year. No matter what it was, the expectations were there that this team was going to be different. And we see it now. They go up to a big 4-0 lead. We're all feeling great. Things are looking good. And it's like, what are we doing right now that this is the outcome where you expect it, where they go down or they go up 4-2, Colorado scores, or 4-0, Colorado scores 2 goals. It's like, let's live bet the Avalanche because this team is going to absolutely blow it. And you could see it in the look in their eyes. Like we saw it in previous Lindy Ruff teams where they would just go on an absolute...
I mean, it's like Gatesy, I wish I could say I was joking because I know I get like what is it, hyperbole, like hyperbolic on this channel. I do get the feeling when it became 4-4 in here, it was a fucking funeral. You knew that even if they made it to OT, it was going to be like Makar from the point or something. And I mean, God, you get a 5-bell save from Luukkonen, and you can't even clear the puck. Like he gets scored. Like, I mean, it's just so frustrating. It's literally like having your like dick against a cheese grater with this team. I swear to God, Gatesy.
That's the best case scenario.
Nothing, Gatesy. 4-0. Like, do you realize? Like, I bet you could pull the fucking numbers on a number of times that a team up 4-0 has lost in regulation.
Yeah, they didn't even get a loser point.
4-1. Yeah, 4-1. Pull me the numbers on a team up 4-1 after 40. and you tell me how many times they lose in regulation. I mean, because God damn it, if you're not embarrassed, like how long ago was it where this team said they got humbled? What, 3 weeks? Oh,
Yeah,
we
they
got a little humbled on that one. We got a little humbug. Sit the fuck down. This team should be required to go to every junior Sabres game. This team should be required to go to every high school game locally until they figure out what the fuck it means to have some heart and play for the goddamn logo on the front and not the name on the back or the social media or the emotions. Because I don't know what happens, but the mental will of this team, like to say like 0 would be like a compliment. To say 0 in like the mental strength, the will, that would be a fucking compliment to this group. And like, it's so unbelievable. I message you. I'm like, let's get a post-game show going at 4-1. Like, let's ride some momentum.
Feeling good.
We got everything going on. And even feeling good, like, the game is still in doubt. I knew the game was still in doubt. But just as much, I'm just as anxious to get on here and say what a fucking disgrace that was.
Yeah. That first period of Hockey Maniac, one of my favorite periods of hockey we've seen because we saw them. Their issues the past several games where they were taking shots for no reason. They weren't playing with any sort of heart and soul. They had a game plan. They were getting buys in front and they were finding success. Let's take all that and throw that out the window on a game. This isn't just an average, Tuesday night game in December for the Sabres. This was Casey Middlestat's return. You would think a guy like Bowen Byram playing his former team would show up with a little more pep and play with like an absolute dog, especially with Rasmus Dahlin out that entire third period, basically. But you see a guy getting outworked in front of his own net. Owen Power, a guy that I love, tremendous upside, but so many times tonight in that third period, he is getting outworked in front of that, and that's how the Sabres lose. And Lando, you're right. Like, at what point do we not have to do these post-game shows anymore? We're sitting here like absolute dickheads talking about the Sabres in a game in December where they're up 4-0. And I feel like a crazy person, Maniac. Like, when are we going to learn? I'm online all the time. Love aspects of this team. Call the Positivity Podcast all the time. Like, I believe in that. I believe that pieces are there. But when you have issues like this completely, where they're just absolutely fall apart and they're not even the same team like they were in the second period, at what point do we just say, do we blow everything up? Like, what are we doing? Like, brutal.
My intern just contacted me. He's still crunching the numbers. So just so you know, in the history of the NHL, only 6 times has a team come back from being down 5-0. So it's going to be more for 4-0. But I mean, it's Gatesy. It's just so, and like, it's tough because you want to take pride in this team. You want to say, like, this year's different. All this shit. Like, you really do want to buy in and believe it. Because as much as anyone can deny it, like, you could say momentum doesn't exist in sports, all that stuff, but culture does matter. Like, the belief in yourself, the pride, everything that you create as an organization matters. And you can just tell that they're like, I mean, like, talk about shriveled up. I mean, at 4-3, you could just feel it. It was like a chill in the back of your neck. And at 4-4, it was Gatesy. I'm not even like joking. Like, I swear to fucking God, I could be saying this shit as an exaggeration. Sabres fans were leaving at 4-4.
Yes.
Sabres fans were leaving at 4-4.
We all knew what's going to happen.
There were multiple. You got this guy down here. He hasn't even left yet. This Avs fan right here. He hasn't even left yet. I think everyone's just. We got there's like 10 people left. There's people taking photos. I'm gonna start my walk out here.
Yeah, get the boots moving. I'm gonna.
The usher was nice enough to tolerate me. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, like,
hope my phone isn't going up, but yeah, come on.
Like, it's Maniac. Like, Dutchy. Like, I'm furious. I feel like I'm at a loss of words. It's like, you have someone like Ukko Pekka-Luukkonen, someone that Maniac and I have been all on board with. Dutchy as well. Well-known fact. He plays lights out that first half of the game, and the team falls apart around. Granted, like, a couple things here and there toward the end. He's getting a little crazy, which happens in a game like that. But you're going to blow a game where that he kept him in that first period. Granted, they're up 4-0. That should have been a 4-1, 4-2 first period. You're not going to get many goaltending performances like Georgiev had, where he was terrible. Tage Thompson, that backhand goal, Maniac, they strap you in that. You're making that save 10 times out of 10. You have to capitalize when you get dog shit goaltending like that. They did, and then they changed their goalie. The Sabres don't know what's going on anymore. Like, how can you not adapt to something like this?
Gatesy, I promise you, I am only like correct when I don't want to be. And we were up 4-0. I was celebrating the goal. My friend, Jared's like pouring popcorn all over the place because we have 4 goals in 12 minutes. We're going nuts. We got chance of we want 5, 12 minutes in. And I swear to God, I just go to him, well, we need to score on Wedgwood quick too because we can't let him get confident. And I'm not saying we lost this game because Wedgwood got confident. Like, that's definitely not what happened. But just to be like, so honed in on the fact that they could actually lose a game where they were up 4-0 is insane. It's insane. People are looking around in disbelief right now.
Yeah.
In this lobby.
It's crazy that we're here. And like, we talked in the group chat, like the fiasco surrounding these wings from Donnie. This is the biggest fiasco I have seen.
No, I wouldn't take a picture.
In the longest time. Where you, especially after.
I had people think I'm taking a picture of them. I'll tell you what, there's no memory I want to be taken out of this arena tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, Colin, I agree wholeheartedly. The defense was crazy. We've seen like Lindy Ruff teams in years prior where they go into a defensive shell and die. But I mean, I had that video a couple weeks ago where the Sabres killed a full 5-on-6 for like 3 minutes, and they were absolute dogs defensively, even though they're in a bit of a shell. There was zero heart, zero compete. In a game where you have Casey and Middlestat return, you have so much going on. You at least like.
There was no reason. There was no reason to take the foot off the rail. Like, we got humbled. I can't wait to hear all the bullshit. Gatesy, pull up the damn timeline right now. What are these fuckers saying?
You go. I'm gonna pull this up real quick.
Yeah, I'll talk for a bit. I mean, again, like, if you realize how difficult it is to make Duke Duchy angry when UPL pitches a shutout in the first period. Do you realize like how difficult that is given that scenario? It's almost at a 0% threshold. Even if UPL allows a squeaker, 2 or 3.
Yeah, let's see. We got 4-1 here.
Yeah, Sean Michael V. Thank you for tuning in. We're live because this team doesn't know how to fucking be alive. They were dead. They were dead from the second period on.
It's crazy. I mean, it starts in this first one. Like, we'll do a live goals against the Gates. We'll break this down here for the people.
You're an Avalanche fan?
Basically at your
blue line. How confident were you? When did you realize you were going to win this game?
I wasn't confident, but I will say at the end of the first, I even told my buddy here, I was like, we frequently give up 2 or 3 goals. There's a high likelihood we come back to a small amount within this game.
He knew it. He knew they were back. You knew they were back from day one. Yeah, what do you got?
Because we're fucking awesome.
Oh, that's the thing. They are awesome. So once they started being awesome, we had no idea what to fucking do. We were crying over there, Gatesy.
Every single goal that went in against the Sabres was so unbelievably preventable, Maniac. And it starts with his first one. Connor Clifton can't get the puck out the blue line. In a game you're up 4-0, the only thing you cannot do is shoot yourself in your own foot. But the Sabres, they've been loving, I guess, this Plaxico Burrs film, where they're just finding ways to shoot themselves in their own goddamn leg every single night. And it's absolutely crazy to me that we're doing this every single game, where you have a 4-0 lead and you're still not content that this team's going to win.
All right, yeah, get that out of here before Elon bans us, even though we know Twitter likes to have fun.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
I mean, Gatesy, like, we could say we could do a movie on this game, honestly, because that's how fucking upsetting it was. I mean, I don't know. I always cope at the end with some positivity, like you said, positivity podcast for sure. But this is the Trainwreck of Trainwrecks, Gatesy. 4-0.
A game that should have been an easy cakewalk turned into absolute anarchy, and you give up 4 goals in the third period when you have a 4-1 lead is unacceptable at any level, let alone the NHL on home ice. A big game after the past stretch where they haven't been playing great hockey. You finally get a great period you can build off of, and they're just laying eggs day after day.
I would love to know when the last time a team lost up 4-0 after 20 at home was.
Yeah, I really don't. It's gonna ruin my night even more.
Yeah, well, all right, I'm not going to let him ruin my night anymore. You shouldn't let him ruin your night anymore, even though I know you're getting ready to do your breakdowns and explain all the cheap goals they're allowing.
Oh, my God, Maniac, this is not good for my health. I think I've lost a couple years of my lifespan after.
Yeah, and of course the Bruins just won, because even when they're in a down year, they still find ways to squeak out victories and get it done. Of course.
Yeah, it's When it rains, it pours. I
Colin
mean,
Smith, are you serious? Fourth line look good at least finally. Colin Smith, are you serious? That's like being like, yeah, well, you know what? The Chernobyl employees really acted with class. Like, are you like Colin Smith? I appreciate you turning on YouTube. I appreciate everyone tuning into the Post Game Podcast. But Gatesy, I think I've reached my end.
yeah, go home, get some sleep, and I don't even know.
Yeah, I'll do what the Sabres did at the 8:30 real time mark. They decided to have a good night now.
Good night now. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in to myself and Maniac as we live and love and laugh about these Buffalo Sabres after blowing a beautiful 4-0 lead. And hey, everyone, have a good night now, and let's try to forget about this. Like